All right, this will be a trade recap for Thursday, February 5th, 2026. Continuing on, as usual, with 1-to-1, and typically first to trigger, but not today. And there was a very simple but very important reason for that. We'll get into that here in a little bit. But other than that, solid day in the market, continuing the sell-off that Pat had been predicting for a while now. And he nailed that spot on. And for those that are into swing trading and knew about kind of that setup and the plan and everything there, congratulations on that. Pat nailed that one. And yeah, pretty amazing, the return on that one. So with that being said, if you're interested in learning this kind of thing, day trading, or you have started learning and maybe you're struggling, listen up, because here's some advice. I am a student of this gentleman. This is Pat Mitchell. He is a professional day trader, though he originally was in blue collar work, and he has been in the markets for a little over a decade now. And he has built up a incredible process and knowledge base when it comes to learning how to day trade. He runs a service called Trick Trades. He has also put together inside of Trick Trades a program called SizeUp, and that's what I do. And it is a structured program for learning how to day trade. You start with a small cash account, and you basically build that up with your education, experience, and screen time to eventually hit different milestones and become a full-time professional day trader. So if you're interested in something like that, great person, probably one of the highest quality coaches when it comes to day trading out there. If not the highest quality, I don't personally know of any other coaches that I can stand by or say that about. And I've been around a few of them in terms of their services, and nothing even comes close to what Pat offers. So if you're looking for a high quality coach, I cannot recommend him enough. And like I said before, you can find him over at tricktrades.com. He also has a YouTube channel on his own where he posts recaps usually daily. If you want to check that out, you can get a little preview of the kind of information he offers and the quality. And that is just a very, very small amount of the knowledge he possesses. But yeah, definitely check him out. It will be worth your time and effort to go through some of his content and judge for yourself. And with that being said, let's get into the charts. Okay, so looking at our typical chart setup here, we have our daily charts here on the left, 1 minute intraday charts here on the right, and order execution and management over here on the right. Sorry, it was the 1 minute in the center. These levels here, these blue levels, are plotted the night before and refined the morning of our market session by Pat, and he builds a trade plan around these levels to give us guidance in terms of what to look for. And again, one of my little rituals is to try to pick the levels that he's going to pick to see if I'm seeing the same thing, picking up on the same thing, that kind of thing. And I do add my risk levels just because I like a visual level of risk. You don't have to. He doesn't. It is just a personal preference of mine. So with that being said, we were looking pretty good. We had a pretty wide channel here on SPY. And then down on here on Qs, a little bit better of a channel. We were not really channel, so to speak, but level. But we were pretty close to when we were opening up. We were damn near on top of it. Then we started coming below it. So when the open hit, and this is the important thing, this is why, while this short on Qs was the quote unquote first to trigger, I did not take it. And there was a very explicit reason that I didn't take it. Doing the kind of whole like one and done and first to trigger there are some other parameters that you do need to take into account for that one. And one of them being is the risk. So it's one of those things where if you're not used to options per se and the premium and necessarily how that can shift around on you, you have to kind of watch out for that. And that's kind of what happened today when we first opened. And this was coming basically, this first candle, when it popped into the level, the premium for the appropriate strike or for all the strikes in this area was expensive, like really expensive. Typically, you're talking 150, 175 on the low side to 225 on a normal day. The premium here was in between 500 and 550. So again, you're going to be paying $500 to $550 per contract. So that's 2 to 2.5 times what it normally is. And with doing only 1 to 3 contracts right now, there's no way I can get into this and manage it if it comes up in an appropriate way without oversizing in terms of not the number of contracts, but the value of the position, to where if it fails, that premium is going to change so rapidly that there's just nothing you're going to be able to do about it. And with 1 to 3 contracts, if you used all 3, that's a $1,500 position. You could be down several $100s very, very quickly. While I have the account capacity to take more size in that, the risk just runs away at that point, and there's could potentially no getting it back, and that's a good way to nuke your account, or at the very least damage it severely. So the smart thing to do right there is to recognize that fact and don't trade it. Completely valid setup, just a premium, just blew that risk out. So I did not take that one. So one of the things you can do, and this is what Pat has taught us, is that wait a little bit. And sometimes it takes a little bit longer, but you can wait. And that premium will eventually kind of reset and normalize. So that's what I ended up doing. So I did that and ended up executing this trend level up here on SPY for just a quick in and out first reaction trade. So that was my one singular trade of the day. So I was still stuck to one and done that I could take because the premium had reset enough to where the risk was not going to be atrocious, and basically just keep you from realistically taking that trade unless you have zero semblance of risk management, or you have, again, the account capacity and the experience to work that trade to its fullest and know how to get out of it. So that says, pull that up. So came into the level, just fired it off quickly, waiting for that first reaction, got it, and immediately paid myself because I did not want to give this thing any kind of room. If I did, would I have gotten more? Yeah, sure. But it's one of those things worth the way things were shifting around in terms of the premium, not just the cost of the premium, but also the how it was changing, the rate of which it was changing. Not waiting around for that, because something that could be a little green can go majorly red real quick, and vice versa. I mean, it's just one of those things where you got to take into account kind of the factors that are going to influence the premium. But still a successful trade, still kept to the one and done. Recognize where to be cautious with the cost of the premium on the day, so I'm happy about that. Stuck to the levels, the trade plan, so all good there. And yeah, strategy works in all markets, whether they're volatile, quiet, whatever, bull, bear, blah, blah, blah. It's like, it doesn't really matter. You can be not have a bias one way or the other. It works in all conditions, and it proves that time and time again. Pat knows his stuff. He knows what he's developed and built, and it works. He proves it. And we as traders and members of his service prove it every day. So yeah, if you're interested in learning how to do this and being a consistent professional trader, come check him out over at tricktrades.com. Join the service, give it a shot for a month, see whether or not, again, it's what you expect. I'll tell you right now, though, it is an education service. It is not an alert service. So if you're looking for someone to hold your hand, give you alerts so you don't actually have to learn or do anything, not the place for you. We don't do that. Pat doesn't do that. There are no alerts. It is education, strategy, planning, and identifying issues that you have, and hopefully, again, getting you to work through them. And some of it is very uncomfortable. There are a couple of books that Pat recommended that people read before even getting into trading. And if you already have, maybe, again, good to pick them up and give them a read, digest them, kind of incorporate them. Myself personally, I have not read them. One of them is Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink, and the other one was Can't Hurt Me by, I think it's David Goggins. And it's one of those things where I'm probably going to pick those up and give them a read myself. I'm a little late to the game on that one, but hey, that's kind of what happens sometimes. But yeah. Anyways, I hope everyone had a good day in the markets, and we will see where we go from here and how we end this week. Should be interesting, and I will catch everyone tomorrow for the next one.